Okay, good morning, guys. I just wanted to post a little video to give you a little bit of a wrap up from yesterday's lesson and then kind of show you just one more little thing. I was going to go over it on Monday, but I'll just go ahead and talk about it right now. When we talk about the component form of a vector, remember that's when they give us 2 points. So like here they gave me point P and they gave me point Q. And to find the component form, you have to use this little, I don't want to say formula, but you have to remember that the terminal side or the terminal point comes first, and the initial point is second. So it's always the terminal point, I'm going to write this out, I know it's written there, but I want you guys to see it, minus initial. And what I told you guys yesterday is first stays with first, second stays with second. So the first is your x's, they stay together, and then your y's stay together. Order is extremely, extremely important. But that's how you find the component form of a vector. And it's written with our little sideways arrows like that with a comma in the middle. Now, when they ask you for the magnitude, they're asking for the length. So if they give you 2 points, now remember points are going to be in parentheses. They'll say initial and terminal. You use the distance formula. But if they give you 2 points, you can find the component form. You can find what the vector would be. And then you can just use this form to find the magnitude. You just take whatever the first value of your vector is, square it, and then you take your second value of your vector and square it. So see, we would go say like the first value squared plus the second value squared, and then you just simplify from there. On your web assign, you are going to have some of these problems, and they're written in what's called a linear combination. All right, this is nothing crazy. This is nothing terribly difficult or new. All this is telling you a direction. So if we were to graph a point, if I was to graph the point 3, -2 on an on a coordinate plane, I'd go over 3, so 1, 2, 3, and I'd go down 2, and I'd get my point right there. So you can basically look at this as written the exact same way. If I'm going to graph a vector, and it's written with the AI plus BJ formula, the first part, I, is your horizontal component. How much you move left and right. That's your I value. And then your J value is your vertical component. How much you move up and down. So if you were given a linear combination that said like, we'll say 3I minus 6J, the component form of that vector would be 3, -6. That would be your vector. If you had something like I plus 5J, well, what's the coefficient of I? What's in front of I? That would be an imaginary one that we don't see. So your vector, your component form would be 1, 5. So when you see that on WebAssign, all you're doing is taking the coefficients. That's your component form of your vector. So if we were looking here and it says the initial and terminal points are given, write the vector as a linear combination. Okay, well, first of all, we're going to say terminal minus initial. So it's going to be 0.2, 6 minus -1, -8. Remember I told you yesterday, first goes with first. So I have 2 minus -1, which would give me 3. And then I have 6 minus -8, which gives me 14. This is my component form. If you guys were asked to find the magnitude for this, once you have it in component form, your magnitude would just be, okay, well, we would say the magnitude would be 3 squared plus 14 squared. So 9 plus 196, which would give me square root of 205. That would be your length. You'd break it down if you could. But they're asking me to write this as a linear combination. Well, so think about it like this, guys. The first value is my I. It's my horizontal. And then the second value is J. They're both positive, so you would write it as 3I plus 14J. That would be your linear combination. So down here, if they're asking us to find the component form and then to perform this operation, well, my component form of U would be the coefficient of I is 2, the coefficient of J is -1, and then of W, the coefficient of I is 1, and the coefficient of j is 2. So there's my component form. So now I'm going to say u, which is 2 comma negative 1, plus 2 times w, which is 1 comma 2. So let's distribute first. And I have 2 negative 1 plus 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. And now I can combine. I say first with first, second with second. So 2 plus 2 is 4. And negative 1 plus 4 would be 3. So there's the component form of u plus 2w.